Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, it's all about downgrades. The players that in FC24 were rated very highly and then had an absolute stinker or aged another year and just lost some of their ability and then deserve a downgrade going into the new game. And surprisingly, it was quite difficult to find them. A lot of them, I'm afraid to admit it, guys, a lot of them are just players that have gone to the Saudi League and we just don't see them anymore, or they're a lot older and they're just not as good anymore. So I haven't got all of them. Ronaldo, for example, isn't in this list, even though he's 86 rated last year. Is he going to be 86 in the new one? Probably not, but I couldn't go through every single Saudi signing, could I? So, and actually some of them haven't been awful. Anyway, look, I digress. Let's get into the first one. It is Trippier. 85 rated at the start of FC24. There is absolutely no way he will stay 85 rated going into the new game. It won't be an insane downgrade. He's not going to be 80 rated, but I think 81, 82, something like that. There's no way he's higher rated than Walker, Reece James, Ben White. He has to be lower than those guys, so he will drop for sure. And just like in yesterday's video, by the way, I've tried to include players that have substantial changes, not just 1 or 2 ratings, okay? Up next, we have Parejo. Huge fan of this guy, by the way, but there's no way he can be 86 rated going into the new game because, I mean, to put this into perspective, Toni Kroos was 86 rated at the start of the game. And whilst Parejo has been a very good player, he isn't on Kroos's level, who, of course, is retired now. But I think going into FC25, we will see 3 rating drop, maybe, for Parejo. But maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe he's had another fantastic season. So as I said in the other video, make sure you comment down below every player's name and the rating you would give them, or at least how much you drop them. 86 rated for Parejo is too high. It just is. And similar to De Ligt, I have no idea how a team can bring in Eric Dyer on loan and displace De Ligt. That is... How did that happen? There must be something going on there. Either he's absolutely horrific in training, he's making mistakes during the game, maybe he's just not liked by the staff, the players. Who knows what's going on there? But there is absolutely no way that De Ligt will keep his 86 rating going into FC25. And it seems he is on his way out. Manchester United seem a likely destination. And Ten Hag, I think, could do well with him. There's a player there. I'm not saying he should be downgraded because he's rubbish. I'm saying he's had a bad season or two. I think he'll be 84 rated, 83 rated, something like that in the new game. Now, this one's a bit tricky. Tonali. Again, no doubt there's a fantastic player in there. And at Milan, he deserved an 86 rating. But since coming to Newcastle and, of course, the scandal, he isn't going to be 86 rated in the new game. But how far will they drop him? I think it's a little bit of an unfair one, this. I've included him anyway because to spark conversation and talk about it, he has to be dropped a little bit because he hasn't played. It happens to injured players as well. If you don't play, you don't keep your rating. So I would expect Tonali to drop to 84, maybe even 83. It depends if he gets back into that team soon, but maybe that's harsh because he's still obviously a very good player. Up next, we have Griezmann, 88 rated, was probably more than fair enough going into FC24, had a great year, and he hasn't been terrible, but if he's 88 rated, think of all the other strikers that should be higher rated after the last season. Still a great player. I'd probably say he's going to be an 85, 86, something like that. So it's a pretty significant downgrade. But, you know, we saw in the last video with bronzes going to golds. We're not going to see any golds go to silver. We're not going to see any silvers go to bronze. You know, it's a bit more tricky, isn't it, to find downgrades. Varane, 85 rated at Manchester United last season. Yeah, linked with Como. I mean, the thing is, he could be linked with 3, 4, 5 Saudi teams. He could have plenty of top European sides that want him because he's a free agent, but with the injury-prone trait and the fact that, let's face it, he just hasn't lived up to that quality player that we saw at Madrid for very long at United. I think he started well and he had good moments, but he will get downgraded. Chesney up next. I love the guy. Ex-Arsenal, of course. Isn't an 86 rated goalkeeper anymore. I don't think it's going to be a crazy downgrade, but maybe 84, something like that. He is still definitely a very good goalkeeper, and we all know that. But like many other players in this list, age and just having a relatively quiet / poor season, that's all it's going to take. We have another goalkeeper. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ramsdale. But the reality is he started FC24 84 rated, and now in the current update in FC24, he's 82. He is going to get downgraded going into the new game, and it might end up being 81. Who knows? There's no doubt that Ramsdale is a top keeper, and he is probably top 5 second goalkeepers. You know, like, how many teams can have a Raya and a Ramsdale combined? It's pretty incredible, and he deserves a move. I think he will move, and he'll get that rating back, but he will downgrade going into the new game. Up next, Lionel Messi, in my opinion, the greatest player I've ever seen and will ever see, potentially. He is an alien. The whole Ronaldo-Messi debate, don't bring me into it. I will always just say Messi is the more talented footballer and Ronaldo is the more talented athlete. He's the best footballer of all time. What else can I say? But he is no longer that same player. He is no longer a 90 rated player. I'd be very surprised if he's anything more than 87, something like that going into the new game, because in reality, he isn't better than that. He is still, for sure, one of the best players in the world, doing what he does, but he's lost a lot of his pace, and he isn't as energetic anymore. He's not that insane dribbler anymore. He's a centre forward that drifts back. He's a cam. He's a number 8 that's very advanced at times, but he won't go any lower than 87. He is still EA's love child, all right? Another one, Lewandowski. Hasn't been awful, but hasn't been great either. His age has definitely caught up to him. He's not as lethal as he used to be. He can't be 90 rated going into the new game. I think he'll be 87, 88, something like that. We also have Immobile, who's just got a move to Besiktas, I believe. He will get downgraded. I'm surprised he was 85 at the start of FC 24, to be honest with you. I don't think he's actually been that great for Lazio for a little while now, but there's still a player in there, of course, and I think he'll be kind of 82, something like that. 3 left to go now. We have Di Maria. Maybe a bit harsh to include him because he might just drop down to 82, 81, something like that. I've heard that Argentina want him to unretire. They wanted him to reverse his decision, but Di Maria is no longer that player he once was. Oh, I remember that goal he scored for United against Leicester, was it? And of course, the times at Real Madrid, incredible player, but will get downgraded. One of the biggest ones here, Casemiro, 89 rated. Yeah, all right. 89. Look, don't get me wrong. When he moved to United, I think 88 might have been fair. We're looking at one of the most successful midfielders of our generation at Real Madrid. He won everything. He's gone to United, and at first, it looked like a very astute signing. But of course, as time has gone on, as age has crept up on him and injuries and suspensions and other players coming through like Mainu, it's very, very tangible. He could be 85, 84 rated in the new game, which might be one of the biggest drops we'll see. Casemiro, obviously his career has done that, and then it's leveled off, at Real Madrid, and it has literally gone down because it hasn't worked out at Manchester United. It just hasn't. He has cost them an insane amount of money and gave them very little in return outside of the first few months, in my opinion. So, bit of a stinker. Really, really expensive player wages-wise. And, of course, they spent a lot of money up front as well. Real Madrid will be laughing. They really will. And then, last but not least, we have Benzema. Unfortunately, if you do go to the Saudi League and still kind of struggle, Benzema, it's funny really, because of course at one point in recent history he was the best player in the world. There's no doubt about it. When he won the Ballon d'Or, there was no one better in his position. But I don't necessarily think Benzema is going to be remembered as one of the greats, and I'm not quite sure what to say. Like, I don't know where to put my where do I where do I sit with Benzema other than just saying I don't actually think he was good enough for long enough to be a true great. He suffered because of Ronaldo, in my opinion. He suffered because of Giroud, technically, for France, and obviously not getting into the side because of outside reasons, which we won't go into. But Benzema can't be 90 rated the new game. He can't be more than 86, in my opinion. And apparently he's got such an influence at, I can't remember which club it is. Is it Al Ittifaq or something like that? But either way, he is basically asking for signings and they're doing it. Alwar is on his way. Diaby is on his way. Moussa Diaby from Aston Villa. He's in control and wants French players, so maybe that's going to help him. But for now, guys, that is it for my upgrades and downgrades, little mini series here. And I'll see you guys for the Operation England final tomorrow. And then, of course, on Monday, a new FIFA FC series will begin. We'll be fixing certain teams.